This is DVDFuture Audio Video Reviews. The film we'll be reviewing is Free Willy, Escape from Pirates Cove. It's being released by Warner Premiere. It's directed by Will Geiger, with a story by Cindy McCreary and a teleplay by Will Geiger. The film stars Bindi Irwin and Beau Bridges. The film follows young Kira, Bindi Irwin, daughter of the crocodile hunter and star of Bindi the Jungle Girl, as she leaves her Australian home to summer with her grandfather, played by Beau Bridges, in Cape Town, South Africa. Soon she discovers a baby orca stranded in a lagoon near her grandfather's run-down seaside amusement park. She names her new friend Willy, and embarks on a great quest to lead the whale back to his pod before her grandfather's greedy rival turns Willy into a money-making attraction at his slick new theme park. Free Willy, Escape from Pirates Cove is the fourth chapter in the Free Willy franchise, and the first film to get a direct-to-video release instead of a theatrical release. Honestly, the movie isn't actually all that bad. I really didn't expect a whole lot. I expected it to be just a big giant cheese fest. I mean, after all, it's the fourth chapter in the Free Willy franchise. I thought it was a bit bizarre that Kira, our main character, does end up calling the whale Willy. I don't understand why it needed to actually be called, why he needed to be called Willy. It just seemed kind of a pointless thing. It seemed almost more trivial to almost give the film a name-only connection to the original series. The story is its own thing. It does its own thing. It has a very, very different tone than the previous films. The previous films were a bit darker. This one's a lot more lighthearted, a lot more light-spirited, and certainly geared a little bit more for a younger audience, primarily Bindi Irwin's fan base. Unfortunately, the film does have the usual direct-to-video trappings. Not all of them are here, but the film is still packed with montage. 101 minutes, it could have easily been probably cut down by a good 20 minutes. It really didn't seem to need to be that long. The film also boasts this just terrible stock score. It's literally like they went on a website that had free music and just downloaded whatever was there and then just added it to the film. It doesn't really fit the tone of the feature. It's incredibly lighthearted. It's just cheesy. And the film has all these ridiculous pop songs spread throughout. I don't understand why they didn't reuse the Michael Jackson song from the first film. It's a great song, and it would have been a great homage to an artist who died this year. I'm not really sure why it's not in the film. Perhaps Warner no longer has the rights anymore, or the song was simply too expensive for a direct-to-video release. The performances are actually pretty decent. Beau Bridges delivers a solid performance. He could have very easily phoned this in, and I feel like he did give the performance some weight. Bindi Irwin, for a first film, this is actually a pretty good performance from her. It's a bit wooden in spots, but you know, it's a decent performance from an actress who hasn't really done anything other than a television show. Honestly, if I had one major complaint about the film, it's that it's a little bit irresponsible in spots. The film is educational, and it teaches you about a variety of different animals. And Bindi Irwin gets to interact with them, and you get to learn a little bit about each one throughout the film. However, it suggests that swimming around with killer whales is an okay thing. Bindi Irwin says it several times, that they're harmless creatures, particularly in the wild, and you can just jump in the water and hang out with them, and it seems okay. And obviously this isn't, an entirely a big deal, because a lot of kids aren't going to see killer whales and just hop in the water with them in the wild. That's not something that happens pretty regularly. But it is a somewhat irresponsible thing to suggest, particularly because, quite ironically, the film requires, Willy, the whale in the film, actually requires training in order to be able to talk with his pod again. So it seems anti-trainer and anti-captivity, particularly anti-corporate theme park, which is a very timely issue considering what has happened at SeaWorld in the recent weeks. But at the end of the day, I don't really understand why they went in that direction, particularly because they take a irresponsible position on the subject. So it seemed a bit bizarre, and I don't really understand why they went in that direction. Despite this flaw, however, Free Willy, Escape from Pirates Cove is a pretty decent movie. It's educational, it's entertaining. It is incredibly predictable and a bit cheesy, particularly towards the finale, which feels just rushed, and it's full of logic holes, and it gets a little dumb, but the movie is fun regardless, and it's probably the best of the Free Willy sequels. It's the most entertaining, and it has the least contrived plot of the three sequels. And the effects in the film are actually pretty good. There's a combination of computer-generated effects and animatronic whales in the film that bring Willy to life. Both look pretty decent. The CG obviously is not quite finished. It's definitely lower budget, But the animatronic whales is pretty impressive. It's definitely one of the more impressive aspects of the film. Free Willy, Escape from Pirates Cove is a very entertaining but cheesy movie. It means well, but it can be a little irresponsible at times. So parents, be sure to educate your children following the feature. For entertainment value, I'm going to give the film a B+. For film value, I'm going to give the film a B. And the film's final grade is a B. And now on to the Blu-ray. Free Willy, Escape from Pirates Cove is presented in 178:1 widescreen using the VC1 codec on a single-layered BD25 disc. The presentation is eons better than most direct-to-video transfers out there, thanks to better set design and stronger lighting. But the transfer is not without its flaws. Contrast is hazy and inconsistent throughout, particularly indoor sequences. Black levels seem a bit too bright as well, and some digital noise creeps into the print, again mostly during indoor sequences. Textures and details are well replicated though. Flesh tones are spot on, and colors are incredibly solid. I noted no print flaws either. No dust, no dirt, no blemishes. The encode is fairly pristine as well, other than the mild contrast issue and the digital noise that creeps into the print. On the whole, the presentation isn't entirely appealing, but it's better than most direct-to-video efforts out there. The transfer will get a grade of a B+. Moving on to audio, the choices are English 5.1 DTS HD Master Audio, French Dolby Digital 5.1, with Spanish and French subtitles and English captions for the hearing impaired. Be prepared for a fairly mediocre listening experience. With the exception of a few moments here and there, rear surrounds and bass are almost never used. Really, the only time you can hear rear surrounds or bass is during a storm, the storm that ends up getting Willy trapped in the lagoon in the first place. Front surrounds are active throughout, but never sonically charged. Dialogue is occasionally tinny and oddly inorganic in spots, with a strong dash of noise during many outdoor sequences. While the mix is hardly disappointing, it's never very impressive either. I'll be giving the audio a grade of a B. Moving on to extras and packaging, the Blu-ray copy of the film, provided by Warner, came packed in a blue Elite 2-disc BD case. Disc and artwork are fairly appealing and mostly in keeping with previous films. I'll be giving the packaging an A. Features are all presented in high definition and include 3 featurettes, a deleted scenes reel, and outtakes. The first featurette, On the Set, Greetings from South Africa, is a canned 8-minute EPK production featurette. Bindi's first movie video diary is a quick featurette geared towards Bindi's fanbase. Sadly, at 4 minutes, it's simply way too short. The final featurette, Meet My Wild Co-Stars, is another 3-minute featurette hosted by Steve Irwin. Finally, there are 2 pointless deleted scenes and 1 outtake. Each feature there runs less than 2 minutes apiece. I'll be giving the extras a grade of a D. There are some BD exclusives on the disc. We've got an informative, entertaining pop-up trivia track that offers information about whales and about the film series itself. Disc 2 of this 2-disc set also includes a digital copy of the film and a DVD copy of the film. Obviously, both of these extras are presented in standard definition. Grade for BD exclusive content is a D. Obviously, Free Willy Escape from Pirates Cove isn't high art, but it's a pretty harmless kids movie that should appeal to animal lovers and the series' longtime fans. The Blu-ray is far from perfect, but it's also one of the better direct-to-video titles. On the whole, I give this one a solid recommendation, particularly for younger audiences.